Oklahoma Republican Senator James Mountain Inhofe has long styled himself an enemy of what he calls government overreach. But today, that fight got personal. It all comes down to a brush that the senator had with the Federal Aviation Administration last fall. See, Senator Inhofe is an amateur pilot, and his terrible piloting nearly caused an accident last fall at a small airport in South Texas. At the airport at Port Isabel, Texas, there was a runway closed for construction. The runway was marked closed. They painted a giant X onto it to show that it was closed. And not incidentally, the closed runway was also covered with a whole bunch of construction equipment and dozens of living, breathing human construction workers. Undeterred, Senator James Mountain Inhofe decided to land his private plane on the closed runway anyway. You may remember that the Smoking Gun website got a hold of the FAA documents about what Senator Inhofe did that day, as well as some of the witness audio from the incident. Please listen to this.
Scared the crap out of us on the north end. Then he started to land on the other side of us, and there was a couple of trucks there. He down there hit a big red dually, and he hopscotched over him and landed on the runway anyway.
Okay, did you get a call sign of the aircraft?
Yes, sir, I've got it. I've got the pilot's name is James Inhofe. Well, he landed right in the middle of us, and I've got a list of witnesses. I've got about 10 people who was out on the runway scared the death out of us. And then some people that were up here at the hangar, which was real close to where the red truck was coming up the runway. That boy pulled over. I think he actually wet his britches. He was scared to death. I mean, hell, he started trying to head for the side of the runway. I mean, the pilot could see him. I should have been able to. He was right on him before he could.
Yeah.
And
and you said you had his name. What was his name again? James what?
James Inhofe. They tell me he's a senator from Oklahoma.
He is a senator from Oklahoma, Senator James Inhofe. In the end, Senator Inhofe got off pretty easy considering what might have happened. He was just ordered by the FAA to take some remedial flying classes, despite the rather seriousness of what he did. How has Senator Inhofe responded to that? By going after the FAA with both barrels. The senator maintains that he was not at fault when he flew over a giant yellow X marking the runway as closed and tried to land amid the construction workers. He says he was frustrated by how long it took to resolve his case, from October 2010, when he scared the bejesus out of those people, to January of this year, when he found out about his punishment, classes. So about 2.5 months of him worrying that maybe he might lose his pilot's license, even though he didn't. So now Senator Inhofe has introduced legislation to combat what he calls the overreach of the FAA. Senator Inhofe almost landed a plane on top of a group of construction workers on a closed runway, inexplicably, but now he's the victim, and he's using his power as a senator to show that the government agency in charge of protecting us all from people who are as bad at flying airplanes as he is, that agency is the enemy and must be reined in. Senator Inhofe saying today of his crackdown on the FAA, "I was never fully appreciative of the feeling of desperation until it happened to me." Senator Inhofe, I accept your feeling of desperation, and I raise you this.
That boy pulled over. I think he actually wet his britches. He was scared to death. I mean, hell.
We will be right back.